a chance to watch the film, how would you evaluate your performance?
It was pretty good. Had a good game. I thought still left some things out there. Missed some throws that I hadn't missed in practice all week. So just gotta go back to the drawing board and work on that this week and prepare for Charleston stuff.
Jimbo said that you're harder on yourself than he is on you. Is that true?
Yeah, that's extremely true. My family knows that the best. I'm my own worst critic. I always, had constructive criticism from my dad growing up, so kind of learned to, coach myself when I was younger anyways, but I always had that about myself, and, obviously I'm going to be my own worst critic, because I know, or I feel like I can make every single throw out there, and I don't feel like I'm perfect or anything like that, but, I always want to strive for that, and when I don't reach it, I get upset at myself, but just try to, fix it and move on.
Did anything feel different out there coming into the season, being a starting quarterback but playing in front of your father? I'm pretty sure that was pretty emotional.
Yeah, it was, early on I didn't really think about it. I was more so focused in on what I was, doing out there on the field. So I wouldn't say that was a big difference. My dad, they made it to plenty of games, even when I didn't play, which meant a lot to me. So, it wasn't a huge difference. Not really, no sir.
EJ, you said you're very hard on yourself. Have you ever walked away from a football game and said, I played well, I did what I wanted to do?
Man, that's a good question. I probably have before, but I feel like there's always something that you can work on. I never really feel like I've arrived, or I feel like I've had a perfect practice, or I've had a perfect game, or anything like that. I feel like there's always something, a little small thing that you can fix. So not really. I don't think I've ever come from a game and felt like I was perfect today, or anything like that.
EJ, did you say anything to Greg after he dropped that first ball and then came back and caught the touchdown
Yeah,
pass?
definitely. I told him, hey, I'm coming right back to you. And reluctantly it was on that post pattern for the touchdown. So, you never know when a guy's number is going to be called as far as in our offense, as far as catching the ball and going, score a touchdown for us. So told him not to get down on himself, and he didn't. He's young. He's still young. He's fairly young. So, it's probably nerve-wracking. He's just got in the game. And he probably didn't know the ball was coming to him. We usually work front side, but they had overloaded and just work back side, and he was open. But, he won't drop that anymore.
And how about after he made the touchdown catch? Did you say anything else to him?
Yeah, I was like, hey, what'd I tell you? And he was like, you were right. And, give him 5 and all that kind of stuff. Extremely happy for him. And, I was glad he made the catch.
You didn't even see the catch, did you?
I didn't. Well, it's funny. I saw it on the Jumbotron behind me.
Oh,
I was on the ground. Yeah, I was on the ground. I felt the pressure coming, just, kind of gave ground and, hung it up there for him and ran up under and caught it. So.
And you were watching him catch it on the...
Yep, watching him catch it and watching him run in on Jumbotron. So, thanks to whoever bought that.
You talked about last week and also after the game about your nerves and taking a little while to shake the butterflies.
Yeah.
And Jimbo said it's really a good thing for all athletes.
Right.
But kind of, what is your process normally in terms of kind of feeling like you're settled?
I think, anytime you step out there in a game, you haven't been hit in a year, you haven't, been in live action or anything like that for a long time. I think the best way to do that is just to, get that first drive or, obviously you want to score. You never want to go through a drive and just go 3 and out, especially, early on in the season. But, like, for example, like a running back, that first tackle, that first hit, he gets, that contact, he's good. He's automatically fine, he's ready to go. So once you get that first pass and that first completion, you're ready to go. And all the jitters kind of just go out the window.
Now, your folks came down last week and I guess brought everybody, including the family dog. Are they running through the month to stay through the Oklahoma game? Or they go back and forth?
They just left this morning, so they're still on the road back. It's great to see my dog as well, but they'll be back, for the Oklahoma game. They'll be back actually this weekend for Charleston Southern. My parents will be, so they'll support me 100%.
What did you say to Clint after he had that touchdown? It's like it's not that easy. You usually come in one pass, one touchdown.
Yeah, I was like, you talk about luck, man. And he actually said the same thing. We kind of said the same thing to each other. So, I was extremely happy for him. And then I actually saw the clip of Coach Trickett, tearing up on ESPN. So that's beautiful, man. You always want to see, the father being proud of the son. It doesn't get any better than that.
EJ, this week is going to be kind of tough mentally on you guys, I would imagine. You played a pretty good team in UL this week, and week coming up, everybody knows what the game is after this one. But how are you going to stay and keep the team focused on a team that's, relatively unknown?
Right. Yeah, I think the main thing is to focus on these guys. I mean, not get too far ahead of ourselves. We obviously know the Oklahoma game is right after these guys, but, you got to pass these guys in order to get to Oklahoma. So, we're going to carry ourselves like we always do. The same protocol. Coach Fisher's still going to coach us extremely hard, and we have to go out there and execute. It's not so much about, what team we're going to play. It doesn't matter who we play. We like to think of it as to take care of ourselves and execute on our own part, and we'll be fine.
Oklahoma played Saturday night. Did you watch that game at all?
I didn't see it, no sir. I didn't see it.
Can you talk a little bit about the receivers overall and how they performed? You know, you didn't have Willie out there, but you had some other guys step up.
Yeah, they did a great job. They ran out their routes, well, and I got to do a better job getting the ball to those guys. They still made some catches and made some drops. I mean, we both, made some mistakes. But we just got to get on the same page. I thought Rodney played great. Burt always going to do well. Dent, as you can see, and then Kenny played well. All those guys, Rashad Green, you saw a little glimpse of him too. So all those guys can go out there and make plays for us. And tight ends did well too, blocking and catching.
It seems like every time Burt goes out, he's trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
Clapping, calling.
Right.
Do you see that?
Yeah, I see it on film. If he's not in my read, I don't see it on on the game field. But Burt's one of those guys you always want to give him the ball because he's gonna make plays for you. As you can see, he was like my third, actually it was my first, and became my fourth read on that touchdown pass. I came back to him, he was wide open, and just ran on in. So Burt's a great person that you want to give him the ball.
Being that you've been here for a while, do you think this is the best receiving core that you've had?
Well, I would say this is my receiving core now, so now I'm the starter, so yeah, it's my first. But I think these guys are very mature. They definitely matured from last year. The summertime we put a lot of work in together, whether it was film study or stuff on the field, and you could kind of see it coming in now.
Pass blocking was strong on Saturday, it seemed like, especially for a group that hadn't got to play together too much. Just, what'd you see out of those guys, and had to feel pretty good to get a lot of time back there?
Right, yeah, it felt great. Those guys did a great job. I was glad all 5 of them were back. And I think they're all, relatively healthy. Obviously nobody's 100% anymore, but, they're all good, still ready to go. They communicated very well, told me whether it was 3 or 4 down as far as, our mic declarations and things like that. So our communication is good, and, we'll be fine. The O-line's doing a great job.
Did it feel good for you, or you talked about last week, you were forced to stay in the pocket. Now you got to get out and scramble a little bit.
Right.
Was it nice to use the legs?
Yeah, it was. Obviously still, can sit in the pocket if you can, deliver the ball, and if you can move around and still throw the ball, that's good too. And if you had to get what you can and get down, that's fine. So whatever it takes to, move the chains, that's what we're going to do.
There was one play you did not get down. You took that somersault to the 5-yard line. Coach give you a hard time for that one?
Nah, he actually didn't say anything about it. Once he saw me get up and I was fine, he didn't really care about it anymore. He just moved on to the next play. But yeah, I don't know why I did that. Just kind of in the spur of the moment, just being a football player, and just having fun out there. So, thank God I was fine, didn't come down with any injuries or anything like that.
Ponder would have been proud of that.
Yeah, kind of was like a vintage Ponder right there, jumping up and kind of do like a little somersault. But it was all good.
How much is Daco helping on that stuff with the line calls and everything? And just is he being a senior?
Yeah,
is he helping some of
it's helping out. I know it's helping Jake out a lot. Jake's a intelligent guy, but he's still fairly new to our offense. So they're allowing Daco to make all the calls, and he's doing a great job. I'm sure it's hard for him to do it from the left tackle spot, but he's doing it. And obviously our run game is going to come and things like that, and all that stuff will get better. So he's doing a great job for us.
Talk a little bit about the boost Freeman was able to give you guys once he came in. He picked up, I think, the first 4 plays he was in, picked up the first down on 3.
Yeah, that was huge for us. Fresh legs coming in, and he's a hard runner. I watched him on film yesterday and this morning. I mean, he looked good. He looked very strong. He looked very fast, and he's only going to get better from here on out. So his ceiling is extremely high, and he has a lot of potential. So Devontae, like I said earlier, he's a great person too. So he's going to have a lot of success.
You were able to complete some passes to your tight ends, get them involved. I thought Bo had a nice catch on one that looked like it might have been off a little bit. And also Nick got involved too. Just what do they bring to the passing game, and how much do they help you out? Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have that, when you have 3 receivers in the tight end, you don't necessarily feel like you can't throw to the tight end. I feel like he's just another receiver out there, a guy that's going to be able to catch the ball and make a play for you. Like you could see with Bo, making that catch, and, I threw it. He was kind of running out a little too far. That's why I threw it inside so he could stay, because it was a corner outside of him. But, he made a great catch, and, still got some yards from it, and Nick's going to do well too. I don't really think you guys saw a lot of Nick as far as the catching ability yet, but you will see it.
You talked about being your harshest critic. Are you, like, after the game that night, are you wanting to go back and watch film, or are you thinking about it in your head? Or?
Yeah, it's kind of like in my head. As soon as I come off the field, like, if I make a mistake, why'd I make that mistake, and try to fix it, and then if I do something well, why'd I do it well, and try to continue to do it. I kind of have my own, working computer in my mind. I think very fast. I think Coach Fisher and I are very similar, because I'm sure he's the same way with his play calling and things like that. So definitely the night after, I'll go over with my dad, like, Dad, I should have did this, I should have did that. And, it's always good to, converse with your dad about that kind of stuff. But, yeah, I'm definitely my own worst critic. But I'm not, where it's too bad or I can't function or anything like that. I just want to be great. I just want to do well.
How close do you feel like being, like you are on the same page with Coach Fisher? That was something he talked about in the preseason. He wanted to build up to that point where you guys are finishing each other's.
Yeah, definitely. I think.
Do you feel like you guys getting there?
definitely. I think we're there. Going into the game plan earlier this week, he asked me to write down some favorites and pretty much had the same exact list. Actually, the same exact list verbatim. So, that was good. And I'm sure that gives him a lot of confidence, and he can feel very comfortable in me knowing that I make the right decisions out there.
Is that like goals that you want to achieve this weekend, or what exactly?
What do you mean by that?
You said the favorites. What is
Plays.
it?
Oh, no, just like the plays that you want to
plays.
run, during that week or during that game. So, like the favorite list of like what I like, what I don't like, and things like that. So,
He set goals going into this week, though. What types of things do you want to accomplish?
I haven't really watched a lot of film on these guys yet, so we'll see what we can do as far as attacking their defense. But just clean up all the the little small errors, the balls being low, or just all the little small things. I feel like my percentage could have been even higher. If I just might have got my hips out wider or things like that, set my feet a little better. So just kind of relax. Just go out there and go through my reads. I know what to do, and just go out there and do it. That's the main thing. Just want to clean up all the execution things.
Are you happy that the big primetime matchup was in week 3 and that you can kind of get those nerves behind you?
Definitely. I mean, the nerves are behind me already. The game 1's out the door. We're moving on to game 2. So there's no more no reason to be nervous about anything else. Just go out there and play football and execute. We know game 3's coming, and just be ready for it.
EJ, with the defense that you've got out there, they're putting you in pretty good position offensively. Can you talk a little bit about the confidence that it gives the offense, knowing that you got that kind of defense behind you?
Yeah, well, I mean, we knew our defense was going to be great this year because we go against them every day. So, that gives us a lot of confidence, knowing that we'll be able to get the ball in good position, great field position. Our special teams is really good, too. Coach Fisher and Coach Graham pride themselves in that. So, we're always going to have, good position with the ball. And, it's up to us, to repay and thank our defense by putting points on the board. So, that's a, big part for us.
Coach talked about how you beat you guys up in practice so that the games would be easy. Was the game easier than practice?
Yeah, definitely. That's why I was kind of upset for myself for being nervous. I do this every day in practice, and it's really nothing different. All the same looks we get in practice is the same thing we see in the game. So, that's why I like the way Coach Fisher does coach us. He's extremely tough and puts a lot of pressure on you in practice to not make a mistake, so you don't make that mistake in the game.
Jimbo said earlier in here, it's good for you to be nervous, so you need to be here, just because you're taking it seriously.
Yeah.
What you want to get
Yes,
done.
sir. Yes, sir.
Is that?
Yeah, I agree. I think if I didn't care, I wouldn't be nervous. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's just me caring, me wanting to do well, and me wanting to be successful for my team and not let my my guys down and lead my team. So I don't think it's a negative thing. I think if you ask any athlete, they always get a little little butterflies. I'm sure you guys probably get butterflies for us. Want us to do well. So I hope you do. But it's normal. It's natural. It's part of the game, and it's part of the maturing process.
Your dad's been a big part of all this too. You mention him frequently. Is he more of a sounding board? Does he coach you a little bit, or what's his role now that you're at this level?
Nah, he doesn't. He doesn't really coach me. He lets Coach Fisher do, all the coaching. Just like when I was in high school, we kind of backed off and let my high school coach do his thing. So, my dad's just there for support. Obviously he'll see things and, I'm like, Dad, you're not a coach, anything like that. We have fun with that, but, he's not going to be like, EJ, you should have did this, you should have did that, nothing like that. He's just there for support.
How do you think the team will treat this? What do you foresee this week with the team? I mean, they got to be mature because like we said, we all know what's ahead in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
How do you think you guys will respond to this week, to this opponent?
Yeah, we're gonna respond well. We want to go out there, and we felt like we should have won, a little more last week, but we definitely want to go out there and have a great game this week. I think if we execute and do what we're supposed to do, the simple things, the small, little details, take care of those things, we'll be fine.
But in practice, I'm talking about just preparing for it.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have a choice as far as how we prepare. We're gonna go hard every single day. We're gonna go hard today. It should be a light practice, but we're still gonna practice extremely hard and take it seriously. We're not gonna take a week off or anything like that.
We haven't seen Bert go up and attack balls the way he did. Very much in games.
Right.
Has he been doing that in games?
Yes, sir. Definitely. I think Bert and all those guys. Bert just happened to make that. I know what catch you're talking about. He went up and got it, but all those guys. I trust all those guys, and they trust me. So I told those guys, if you get open and I put the ball out there for you, I expect you to come down with the ball. So it's kind of expected. He expects me to get him the ball, and I expect him to catch it. So that was a great catch on his part.
Except Lonnie Pryor, man. What happened there?
Yeah, Lonnie's unreliable, man. He actually texted me this morning. I know he felt bad, man, for him to text me 2 days after it happened. But he told me he won't let me down anymore. And I told him, don't worry about it, man. We all know that's not like you. So the next time he gets a chance, he'll definitely catch it.
Is Bert one of the type of kids comes back, cuddle after every play, and say, "Hey, man, I'm out"?
Nah, not really. He wouldn't really say anything in the huddle. I'm kind of the only one talking in there, but. you know, after the fact on the sideline, he might say, "Hey, E, I'm working this guy on that corner route." You know, just or actually when we break the huddle, you know, be like, "Hey, E, give me a look on this one." So, you know, I was like, "All right, Bert." And if he's in the read, I'll do it, and if he's not, I don't. So, but Bert, like I said, he's explosive, man. I want to get him the ball. You know, I want him to have a chance to make plays for us because he will make plays.
By his definition, has anybody else ever been able?
Oh,
has he ever been covered?
No, nobody can cover him. Not Greg Reed, not Xavier Rhodes, not anybody. So it doesn't really matter who's checking him. And it's true. I mean, Bert's gonna get open for you. And like I said, he's an explosive player. So he's a good productive person.
Would Greg Reed admit that?
I'm sure Greg won't either. Yeah, I'm sure he won't either. It's always a constant battle between those guys. Talk a whole lot.
2 more questions.
A lot of the people who are voting in the polls are looking at numbers because they really don't get to see a lot of the games.
Right.
How much is there on the offense to try to put big numbers on the board every week so that you can stay where you want to stay in the polls?
Oh, man, I haven't really thought about it personally. We obviously want to go out and win the game, so we win by 1-0. That's fine with us. Obviously, you want to go out there and have a good showing and score a lot of touchdowns and things like that. But that's not, really something we really think about too much.
In these situations when obviously you guys are heavily favored, I mean, you're a superior team, do you find yourself having to like taper back, trying to take more shots? You know, the idea being, hey, the defense would be able to pick you up. I mean, just being the better team, mentally, does it change anything for you?
I don't think so. I think you still gotta, go out there and just like you would if you were playing a big powerhouse team, still handle it the same way. Don't change just because of who you're playing. Like we always like to think of it as taking care of ourselves. If we execute on our part, we'll be fine no matter who we play. So we don't really think about who the opponent is.